Welcome to episode 2 of Lot Talk. We're going to call this the Lot Talk. We're going to talk about the lots. We're going to talk about a lot of things here. Today it's myself, Craig Bieber, Craig Howard, and Dylan Spur is going to help us out with some talking about some of the lots as we go through 21 through 40 today, I believe. So a couple of things I want to remind you about is that videos are going to be up on the 24th, 25th. We're taking video next week. We also expect that there will be a significant or some changes in the carcass data next week with the incorporation of our ultrasound data. And we just want to make sure that if you have any questions, you make sure you can contact any of us. We're all in the catalog. So with that, we'll start talking about 21. This is a favorite of mine, primarily because this dam has really gotten it done. She's an older dam with a 104 ratio. Actually, Brent Wolfwinkle bought her this past fall, but this is a tremendous cow. She's actually produced 2 herd sires that ended up both in the Cooksley Reynolds operations, Iron Warrior and the Maximus bull that we talked a little bit about yesterday. So I think this bull really stacks a great female into his pedigree. She's probably, in my opinion, one of the best iron ore daughters we've probably ever produced. Craig, do you have any comment about her?
Well, I think just exactly that. I mean, she's already produced 2 herd bulls, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, just did it again. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding, as far as I'm concerned, and with franchise on the top side, I think somebody's going to be super happy with this cow.
Yep. So he does a great job. He's moderate framed. He just kind of does everything right. So I think that the way to end it on this lot is that he scanned a 120 on IMF, a 108 on ribeye, and a 147 on back fat. Now, one of the things that we always challenge ourselves with is where are we on back fat? And I really do think that you can manage back fat in a feedlot situation, and if you really want good females that'll stand the test of time, you need to have additional back fat in your sires. This is my opinion, but I think generally we've seen that maternal sires tend to lay on more back fat. And so in our estimation, that isn't necessarily a negative thing. And we think that the feedlot side can really manage that better from an endpoint standpoint than we can having females that can't lay on fat cover, especially when we're looking at some of the temperatures we were this morning. So then we'll move on to 22. So this is you can see that the 189A cow is on the bottom side of Maximus's pedigree there. This is another good Maximus son from the Rouse program. Again, I talked about it yesterday, but if you really want to know something about the Rouse females, feel free to call Dan Mormon or Gene Rouse, but they'll know it. These expectation females have done a good job. They're high marbling individuals. This bull sure puts it up, being in the top 2% of the marbling. I don't know, do either of you have a comment about the Rouse cattle and what they've done for us?
Well, I mean, I think in general they're just, I mean, they always bring good ones. I mean, just look at years past. I mean, they've produced Samurai. They've produced lots of bulls that not only we've used, but have always been in the top. I mean, Gene's was always a believer in carcass, and so I mean, the herd is in general has a lot of carcass built into them. This bull obviously no exception. And as far as the bull goes, just, I mean, the picture says 1,000 words. I mean, long, stout, full of muscle, and well, again, we couldn't really get him worked up to get his head up in the picture. So, I mean,
that's one of the things, again, that the Maximus Spartacus line is excellent on disposition. We haven't been providing disposition scores in our catalog, but the truth is we want them so that in general nobody's going to be disappointed, and so we've selected a lot of cattle with good dispositions. Not that they're all perfect, because any environment will separate them, but the reality is these Maximus cattle really get it done. We'll move on to the Warhead calf. I guess, Dylan, is there anything you'd like to say about Warhead first as a sire?
Ugh. I guess I can be honest. I wasn't real wild about him as a calf, but now seeing his progeny hit the ground, goes back to a strong cow family, atomic, going back to 308 wide, 8-line daughter. I mean, how much better can you get?
Yep. So, so I guess Warhead is a bull that was bought by Northern Lights and Bryce Risa, and we are selling semen on the bull. We think he's one of the higher growth kind of atomic sons. He's out of a Rolling Deep daughter. This particular lot 23 is out of an exclusive daughter. An exclusive has females have done a great job for us. This Goldie cow line's been around a long time. They're kind of blue collar cows. They just get it done every year. Anything you guys want to add on that?
No, I think we're good there.
Okay, then we'll move on to lot 24, and we got a franchise son here. This actually, we had a full brother up at lot 4 that we talked about yesterday, and I mean, these franchises have just done a great job maternally. I guess I don't want to take all the conversation. You guys have any comment on franchise?
Go ahead, Dylan.
We have franchise daughters calving now, and I think you guys are not going to be disappointed in the sire line when it comes to him. They got growth, they got milk, great mothers, good footed, really good udders.
Just trouble free. They've been, the franchise have been trouble free for us this spring.
Yep.
And the atomics for the last couple of years have been absolutely trouble free. Just lay down, do their job, and you don't worry about it.
And that's one of the things that I want to note on this. This stocks two very what we consider maternal lines in atomic and franchise. And so, this is a lot that really you could look at to kind of do it all from it's in the top 23% of the breed and herd builder, which is the maternal index, and still in the top 12% of the gridmaster, which are the feeder traits. So, I think there's a lot of positive things about this bull. Then we'll move on to 25. 25 is Maximus' son, out of a Rolling Deep daughter. Either you guys have a comment on him?
All kinds of power, all kinds of growth.
There you go. I mean, that hits it. And a lot of times that the Maximuses do that. That's going to probably be a common theme throughout what we talk about is and like I talked about yesterday with Maximus, he's thick, he's moderate, just chuck full of meat and muscle and put lots of pounds on your calves. Then when we go to 26, we got a forefront calf here out of a right-on daughter. Thoughts, guys?
I think it sure darken them up. But for the guys who wanna darken up a set of calves, he'll sure do it. And the right-on daughters were really good for us. They had a lot of milk and really got it done. Obviously with forefront on the top side, again, just going to be a real maternal pedigree and not giving up anything on the carcass.
Yep, this one absolutely doesn't. With a top 1% for Gridmaster, and he didn't disappoint on scan either. He's a 105 IMF, so it's sure a bull to take a look at if you want to lay in some good replacement females, in our opinion, and have feeder cattle that are gonna do well. If you'll look, the new number Pro S is a combination of those two. He's in the top 4 or 5% of the breed, and I think as commercial producers, you really need to think about, look, you got to concentrate on herd builder, and you need to make sure you kind of have maternal if you're keeping some females. But the truth of the matter is you got to be worried about your calves down the stream and make sure they're profitable. And what this says to me is that feeders are going to love your feeder calves. So with that, we'll move on to lot 27. This is Stockman E116. You know, we sold Stockman here a few years back. He was maybe gives us a little bit more frame than the stock market bull, but again, this is a great pedigree. It's Stockman on Atomic. Any comments, guys?
Again, I mean, I don't know, I feel like a broken record, but you know, again, I just can't say enough good about the Atomic daughters, and we've sure liked the Stockman daughters. You know, gonna be a lot of power and in a Cabernet package too, so, you know.
Yep. This bull gained well. He did a lot of things right. The chick 166A cow that's on his grand maternal dam, just was a really great cow. You know, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, look, we have a lot of good bulls, and there's a bull for everyone. This just might be the 3-star heifer bull that might fit your program really well. We'll move on to lot 28, the franchise out of the Joan cow. Comments, guys?
Another daughter, another cow that we flushed early. We all thought a lot of her and decided to flush her, and she sure didn't disappoint us here.
Yep. Well, you look at him, he's got a 4-pound average daily gain, top 3% for Gridmaster, you know, ranks well for herd builder and consequently ranks well for Pro S. Has a full brother selling his lot 21, so it's, you know, the one thing comment I'll make about the Joan cow line is the Joan cow line has done a great job. The most notable son that we've had out of the Joan cow line is probably Driven. That bull ranks very well in the indexes. Been working hard up in the Sam Tweed program. Just does a lot of things right. So with that, we'll move on to lot 29. This is a Maximus son out of a Federalist, which is reminiscent of, I guess lot 1 was out of Stock Market and Federalist daughter, but the Laura cow line's been great. Any comments here?
Not really. Just
Okay.
Lots and lots of power.
Part of it is, you know, I'm putting these guys on the spot. I mean, there's a lot of good bulls. I mean, obviously, this dam has done a pretty decent job with an MPPA of 110. You know, so sure don't miss him there. He's got a little more frame, which fits better. He's kind of a 6. And again, if you want the frame scores, you need to go to our website and download the spreadsheet. It's in the spreadsheet. Then we'll move on to lot 30. Lot 30 is a forefront out of a right kind daughter. This is a right kind that we chose to flush early. Craig, can you tell us a little bit about 335D?
I think it's a little different pedigree as far as cows that we would generally look at to flush. I mean, she's sure different. I mean, as you look at the pedigree, you go, well, I don't know. You know, she wouldn't jump out at you there. Obviously, I mean, she's done a nice job, and or we wouldn't have flushed her.
Yep.
And you know, I think she gives, I think she's going to give some people a little bit different pedigree on some flush calves coming up too that I think you're going to want to jump on.
One of the things he did really well is he scanned well. He was a 113 on IMF, and then 113 on IMF, 96 on ribeye area, 86 on back fat. You know, and that's one thing I can tell you is that puts together a nice data set from a package all the way across the board. So then we're going to move on to lot 31. Here's one of the first, no, maybe that's the second profit maker in the sale. So out of the Laura cow line, actually we flushed the 214X cow, I think. She was one of those moderate cows that we really liked. This would be a hard drive daughter out of her and the profit maker. These profit makers are really moderate frame wise. But they do a lot of things right. Is there anything you guys could add about the cow line or anything that you see there?
about the 537 cow.
She's as moderate as you can make one, and for her to lay down and produce a calf like this, that 121 at yearling, packs it with a 33 on the milk, you got maternal with it, I don't think you can shake a stick at him.
Yep. So we always try to bring in an outside sire to kind of reference our breeding program. Well, this one just really has nice phenotype and does a lot right. When you stack them on hard drive, and we know the hard drive females have been just a mainstay here for years, and that's we're always trying to make them better. And now we see the forefront daughters and the atomic daughters, but stacking them back in the pedigree is some of what makes these the really great cows. So then we'll move on to 32, another roust animal out of the atomic bull. Have we had any atomics, Kev, this morning? Any atomic daughters?
Not this morning.
Okay.
No.
Greg told a great story about one yesterday. If you want to hear that story, go back to Lot Talk on the first episode. But you know, this calf across the board has done some things well. You know, he scans with a pretty big ribeye at 106 ribeye area. You know, just posts some pretty good ratios. Top 7% for herd builder, top 18% for Gridmaster. I'm not sure you can make them much better. One of the things is the deep end bull does actually rank very high in the dollar profit system, and has done a great job. He's at Gen X, so it's sure a bull of note. We've had a lot of great deep end daughters for probably how little we used him. Not because we didn't like him, but because at the time we had so many rolling deep sons we were sampling, we ended up being somewhat limited in where we could use him. So then we'll move on to lot 33. This is the atomic out of a rolling deep, kind of a classic, similar pedigree to the Warhead bull actually. This is probably one of phenotypically my favorite atomic sons. Anybody have a comment on that? I mean, I don't know if you liked him phenotypically. We all like things a little differently.
I think across the board, this is my favorite flush of the year as far as flush calves go. Every one of them is just made so nice. A few of them, as you get further down, might get a little bit more moderate than I personally would like, but they're just made absolutely perfect. And if you go out and look at the replacement heifers, that's really where they shine. My goodness, this flush has created some just knockout heifer calves that
Great.
I think this was the most uniform flush that we've had in the 7 years that I've been here, I would have to say.
It's good info. That bull has a couple of full brothers selling, so you have that opportunity if you want. With that, we'll move on to lot 34. And this is one of the few Stockman 4051s, which is the sire of Stockman E116 and the sire of Stock Market E119. This calf comes from a cooperator out of Michigan, which is Kayla Bachaka. Kayla actually was an intern here on an extended internship for about a year, and you know, he bought some cows from us, and part of the deal was that we really felt like we'd give him some help. Caleb's been building a really good program in Michigan, and this bull is probably one of the better bulls that he's ever produced and sent us. I mean, you look at him; he weighed 160. I guess the only quick comment before I turn it over to one of these guys is if you want to talk about or ask about Caleb's females, feel free to give him a call. His number is in the catalog. Guys, do you have any thoughts about this calf?
sleep all night cavities with 1%, top 1% for growth. I mean, that kind of says it all. Stockman on atomic. It's pretty proven genetics. I think.
Yep.
Sleep all night, 1%, waiting 1% yearling on his ratio.
Yep. He also is a 1B. So commercial guys, you don't have to worry about registered guys getting involved in a bull like this, but you get all the same genetics. I mean, just like we've talked about many pedigrees before, you get Stockman stacked on atomic, and I think I think that's the great thing about these cattle have done a great job. We'll move on to 35. I think this is maybe the first stock market we've been able to talk about this morning, isn't it?
I think so.
Of course, we had quite a few of them at the front end of the deal, but they're sprinkled out. We have, I think, over 50 stock market sons in the sale. The exciting news about stock market, like I mentioned yesterday, is he ratioed to 112 on IMF. That puts him out there quite a bit, and a lot of these cattle, in my opinion, will move up. Just some fabulous phenotype. One of the stories that I'm going to tell forever about stock market is that when they were ultrasounding the first day, and these are not the first calves that ever been ultrasounded, but the first significant group, they ended up quitting looking at the sire because they just figured it would be a stock market if it marbled well. When they can see that on the screen, you know there's going to be something coming through. Any thoughts about this cow on the bottom side?
It's just a nice cow, and I would say that, I mean, this is the kind of pedigree we're going to see a lot of coming up in the future stock market on Atomic. I mean, those kind of cattle are going to be the kind that'll work for about anybody, no matter what you're breeding for. They're going to work for you. So.
Dam's MPPA 124, and you're going to hear me talk about a 34 on the milk. I'm not going to be disappointed.
Yep. So, the Pride cow line has always been a little moderate, and so I think they've done a good job from that perspective. This bull does bring a little more frame. I mean, he's probably, at the top end of our scale for frame, in our whole offering, I guess. So. With that, we got another Warhead son. We talked a little bit about Warhead. Just a high performance Atomic, just lots of volume, lots of thickness. Out of a hard drive daughter. Any comments, guys?
489C did it for a long time here, so I mean she's been a good cow. Obviously, the 246U was in our flush program. She kind of a mainstay, so just a long line of darn good cows, and with Warhead on the top side. Again, just awful nice pedigree with a whole lot of performance.
One of the things that tends to happen is we turn over females fast because we truly believe that we're selecting and mating better cattle. And so, but for a C cow to actually may be able to maintain a 103 MPPA gets a little tricky because of how fast we turn over the generation. So, that's one thing that I want you to note. I mean, we do believe in the progress of turning the generations does help. This bull also provides you with quite a bit more frame. It's sure something to look at if you're interested in. And again, I've made this comment before, but I do not want you to forget the hard drive daughters have been phenomenal. And so you stack Atomic rolling deep and hard drive in this pedigree. I'm not sure how much more you can stack them. So, and that's one of the things, you can come here and buy bulls that are stacked with these kind of pedigrees. Lot 38's another Atomic out of a Spartacus, which we haven't seen a lot of. This bull actually goes back to a black bull that was a high marbling bull at Iowa State University. Gene Rouse has worked with that a little bit, and that's pretty evident in the top 1% for marbling. Thoughts on this bull's guy?
Can't say enough about the Atomic daughters. I mean, goodness.
So you're going to hopefully use him and sire a lot of daughters, and this is sure one to get it done. With that, we can move on to 39. Another Maximus out of the 187B cow. Thoughts?
Dylan?
That was one of my favorite cows that we had on the place. We unfortunately got rid of her this fall, and it was tough.
Now hold it. We don't get rid of them. We sold them. Let's just be honest. So every cow leaves here at the age of 7, and so and there's a couple other requirements, but the 187B did cow. But go ahead.
Yep.
I'll let you pick it up.
Yeah, one of my favorite cows that we had on the place, and even though he's a black bull, he brings a lot of power to a guy's cow herd. I think he's gonna do good things.
Not only that, but I think he'll bring more maternal than, the endurance daughters were really good. And I sometimes struggle with herd builder ranks. The Spartacus hasn't done great. So that in turn lowers Maximus. But Maximus is out of a power female. I think for a lot of commercial systems, these cattle are going to work very, very well. So you do have an opportunity to buy a few black bulls. It's noted in the footnotes. A lot of times you can tell by the 100% AR and then category 2. Just in case you're wondering how or what we're looking for there. So it is a great opportunity to get in some Red Angus genetics, but in a black color. Lot 40 is the last bull we're going to talk about today. Does somebody have any comment here?
I like that 555F cow. She's a little, I shouldn't say a little, she's a lot smaller than her damn 278. She was a big soggy kind of cow, but this one here, she packs a lot of maternal traits just like mom, and just in a little smaller package.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a flush calf. The Gladiator daughters have done an outstanding job of putting marbling into their genetics. And so, the surprise 278 cow was a Brown's Vacation daughter it was big and a lot of volume. This bull really, really did a great job with a 36 or 35.94 scrotal. Of course, all of our scrotals are adjusted at a year of age. We will have updated actual scrotal information that was taken by the vet towards the front part of the week of the sale. With that, we're going to close here. I want to thank you guys for doing this. This is probably a little outside of their comfort zone, but we wanted to have this so we could talk about the bulls. There are a couple of big things. Make sure you're checking our website for updates and that sort of thing. The sale is broadcast on DV Auction, and so there's videos available on DV Auction after kind of the 24th, 25th of February. With that, we'll close for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.